All right, recap of Columbus. Got there, got to put my hands on the stones. That was pretty cool. It wasn't any place to warm up. There was a loading pin, but they didn't have any Dinnie rings. They had an anvil there for grip strength, so I didn't get to warm up. So my warm up was literally lifting the stones with straps on. And the video you can see where I have straps on, you can see both stones come up pretty quickly. I didn't hold it for long just because I'm wearing straps, so what does it matter? I just needed to get my muscles going. And then on the whenever I lifted them without straps, you can't see the tail end of the big stone come off the ground. So as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't count. So that was disappointing. My brother says, yeah, I saw it. They were both up. And there's a moment on the video where you can kind of see them both up, but it doesn't count. But it was good because I got the needed practice that I needed. I got to feel actually lifting both rocks at the same time. Unlike mine out here, I haven't lifted both of mine yet at the same time yet. I got to feel what it was like to have the rock hit my leg on the way up, which it hit way too early. It wasn't that painful, so that's good news about that. Differences were the little stone, the height of the pull of the little stone is the same height as the big stone. So that was different for me because I wasn't able to use it as a counterweight to lift the big stone. Well, you see on my videos, whenever I lift and my big weight, I'll say instead of stone, I lift it up. But the little stone comes up first, and I kind of use it as a counterweight to pull the big stone off the ground. But being as the pull is not as high, I wasn't able to use it as a counterweight. So my lift off the ground, like both stones were only like 2-3 inches off the ground, so it wasn't that high. So again, I learned something. I've got to change my stance again, and I've got to find a way to stand up straighter. One thing I got working against me is I'm really short, and my arms are really, really long. And I was using a really wide stance because I was trying to make the pull as short as possible, right? But if that tail end, if it's going to take another inch off the ground to make that tail end obviously off the ground, I got to change my stance to make it work. And by the time I figured that out, by the third time I was pulling it, I was spent. I was done. I couldn't do it. So I tried to do it with a different stance on my third pull. I was gassed. I didn't have anything left. So my first pull, you can see the big stone come off pretty easily, but the little stone doesn't come off the ground hardly at all. And they weren't off the ground at the same time. Again, because I wasn't used to that counterweight, right? I'm used to the counterweight. I didn't have it that time because I lifted the big stone and the little stone was still on the ground. Second time I tried to change up the order that I lifted them. And again, I thought I had them both in the air, but you can't see it. You can't see it on film. And then the third pull, I was done. I was gassed. The other part is moving the stones into position. Nobody's doing it for me there. So I was doing it myself. I got some smudge on it. So that kind of wore me out too, just moving those big rocks around. So that was kind of tiring. But again, it was good practice for me. You can see that I got the stones off the ground with straps on. I've got video proof of that, so that's still good for me. That still makes me happy. You can see that I'm strong enough to pull it without straps. On the video, you just can't see both of them in the air at the same time. So disappointing, but it was what I needed. It was good practice, so I'm okay with it. Now, things that are going to happen soon, I'm going to buy a scale for my rocks because I need to lift rocks, and I got to find a chisel because I got to get my big stone down. it's just way too heavy. It's way heavier than what I lifted there. Now I lifted that big stone. First time I lifted it up, I was like, that was pretty easy. I could do that. But my stone is considerably heavier than that. Things I bought while I was there, because I drove to Rogue because I knew I was going to buy some things. First, I bought that camber bar. Let's see, I want you to be able to see the curve. There we go. Bought the camber bar, which I'm pretty excited about. And I drove home and it rained on us, so it was in the back of the truck, so I'm hoping my sleeves don't rust. The bar itself is Cerakote, so I'm not worried about it, but the sleeves are raw steel, so hopefully they don't rust. But this was in the boneyard, and it was pickup only. So I was like, well, I drove here, I'm gonna buy it. And then they had a garage sale going on, and turn it down there. Try to get my finger right. There we go. Right. Down. Right. There. Anyway, they had 100-pound plates, so I asked them how much the 100-pound plates were, and they said, oh, they're $1 a pound. Give me 2. So instead of buying more of the calibrated plates, I bought 100-pound plates, which will still save me some space. Not as much space, but it'll still save me some space. And I will, and I didn't have to pay the shipping, because the shipping on those 100-pound plates is ridiculous. So I was pretty pumped. They got like a couple nicks and scratches on them, and like they got some shrink wrap that's basically glued to them, but it's $1 a pound, which you just don't find anymore. So I was pretty pumped about that. So tomorrow I'm gonna squat. I got squat, and I'm actually gonna squat with that big bar, with the new camber bar. Now, as far as my schedule, I've already done. It's my bench day, but I've already done my sets of 5 and my sets of 3. It's actually my 5-3-1 on my bench day, but I haven't done sets of 3 on anything else yet. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do my 5-3-1 today, but then I'm gonna do it again next week, to kind of counter, like, and get back on track. Going to Columbus kind of messed up my schedule, obviously, because I did my deload week for everything. After I'd already done my sets of 3 on bench. So I just kind of messed some things up, but I'll get back on track. But I'll film my big 3 today. I got 5 at 265, 3 at 300, and then 1 at 335. So